Let's go, people. We got DFK HELPER in the house. I love you guys. My man, Zellies, Coolio, Crypto Baby H, who just had her teeth pulled. She's on meds right now on Friday. This happened. And she's like, I'm not getting on screen. No way. We actually have Kong here. He just, he's in the background. I've said, Kong, come on up. Come on up. And he said, nope. So much going with DFK HELPER. Lots of things to talk about. Announcements. Okay. You've helped with the gas fees. Zellies is like a brother to me, as you guys know. Coolio is someone that is a rare find on earth when you can find somebody that you can trust. He's very trustworthy guy. We got Crypto Baby H. We all know Unity Guild. Shout out to Unity Guild, bringing on more new people than they can even handle. Okay. New people coming in the game. They're helping bring on new people into DeFi Kingdoms. Let's go. Love you guys. What's going on? Updates, announcements. How did you fix the gas fees? What's going on there, my man? Zelly.
To take this one.
Yeah. Let's go.
How about a layman's explanation, and I come in for any details that are needed.
That sounds perfect.
I'm too deep in this thing.
Yeah.
Do you have the charts that I posted? I think that'd help.
Yeah. Hey, I can't. Hang on just a quick sec. Let's do it. We just jumped right in because Crypto Baby H has some announcements and giveaways they want to do. Okay. And I will share the screen and pull up the charts that you just sent, right? A little bit ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Or no, yesterday you sent these.
Yeah, I'm still pretty awkward with posting my own stuff, like into streams.
I got it. Okay.
Suddenly the camera's looking at the floor. I don't know. Got private stuff showing on this screen.
Okay. We got the trade room who's coming. I think this guy's streaming. He just signed up. I think he said he's firing up his YouTube channel again. Let's go.
Yeah. I talked to him on Twitter today and answered a bunch of their questions through DM on Twitter and sent them the Ko-fi sub details. So very nice to have him.
Okay, love it. All right. Is this what you're looking for? This one?
Yeah. So does anyone want to try to do a basic explanation, or are you going to leave that to me?
Go you, Zellies.
Okay.
I guess was basically what does the blue lines represent? What does the red lines represent? And what's the time period?
Okay, so before we get into that, let's talk about like the background, the history, right? So gas was always super, super low on CV. It was basically the base most of the time, right?
Yeah.
And when V3 questing came out, V3 questing increased gas usage massively because the code necessary for pets, not for pets actually being attached to a hero, but just the code to allow them to be attached to a hero, right? So V3 questing itself uses significantly more gas than V2.
Okay.
Significantly, like the order of 50% and more.
Okay.
And every season of duels is more complex than the one before. So, for example, Season 4 also used a lot more duel than Season 3. It used potentially up to 10 times more because of the ability to do the dual entries, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can do 10 dual entries at one time, and you could do that over and over and over and over and over. Now, when we looked at how much gas a duel was using, a duel uses just two duels can use an entire block on the blockchain, meaning that that's all that fits on the block, and we have to wait 1 second for that one person to do their two duels, right? That's pretty crazy, right? A whole second dedicated to just processing one person's two duels. So the issue with that is that when the blocks get full, and now they get full really easily because of the V3 upgrades and the Season 4 upgrades, gas price increases. So the way that the system works, and this is standard to EVMs, to chains like this one, completely standard, which is to say that whenever gas reaches a point that the devs have coded in this case it's 25 million units, gas price will increase by 0.1. right? And this can happen every couple of seconds. It's actually over a 10-second period. So 10 seconds, 0.1, 10 seconds, 0.1, 10 seconds, 0.1. After 3, 4, 5 minutes, you've got gas that went up double, triple, quadruple. And then the gas price will not decrease if transactions stay, let's say, average or normal. It won't decrease. It can only decrease when they drop in the same exact way as the way it went up. Basically, blocks have to be emptier than the 25 mil most of the time.
I see.
Most of the time, more than 50% of the time. And that usually doesn't happen, right? So what happens is transactions go in, the price goes up massively, and then it's kept there because everybody's transacting continually. It doesn't drop below the set value. And gas can go up to infinity. Now, generally, the bots, at least, will stop transacting when it reaches 25 gwei. I've seen 30 gwei.
Yeah.
And so then it'll stay around there just because they set it there. But that's what caused things like XEarn to implode and other bots to shut down that are less efficient with gas use, is that it just becomes unprofitable to quest over 25 gwei on CV.
Okay.
I mean, granted, there's a whole lot more to the game than questing and a lot of other ways to make a game. But, if you just focus on that, it's a bit of an issue. We don't want new players to have to pay over 25 gas.
Right.
And so I got together with the team and I asked, what can I possibly do? And they said, well, you're already doing it. It's load balancing is the way. Spread it out. Spread everything out evenly. And then we'll avoid those peaks that cause gas pricing to go up. So that's what I've been doing all this time.
Okay.
But then I noticed that whenever so do you remember a couple of weeks ago, I started doing the multi-start, multi-complete questing? Yeah,
right. Yes.
So when that happens, you can see it on the blockchain. Basically, the total number of transactions on the chain dropped massively, but it's not realistic in the sense that the number of transactions decreased, but the total amount of gas usage stayed the same, because what I'm doing is I'm compressing transactions into a smaller space, right? But they still use the same number of blocks to be processed. But the reason this is important is because this is what allowed me to do the next thing, which we did recently. What was it, like on the 5th of July or so? Even though I'd been testing little tweaks right before then as well. Yeah. Which is to make it so that we're essentially gaming the price raising algorithm. Now, I use the word gaming. I don't like that word gaming, but I ran this by the DFK team and they said, hey, if you can get it to go lower, go for it. So, and I asked, is there a price we shouldn't go below? And they said no. So, I set it up to basically game the system by ensuring that we're using a minority of the blocks. So DFKH users are only using a minority of all the chain's blocks, leaving the majority of the blocks to other players, other bots, and hopefully small transactions that allow the price to go down. Now, as a result of this, gas has gone down from about 25 gwei to about 15 gwei on average, right?
Right.
Part of that decrease, well, let's say part of the decrease from 33 gwei to 24, 25 gwei is just that duels stopped, right? On the 5th of July, duels ended. And duels, as I mentioned, use an enormous amount of block space and raise the gas price on the whole chain massively, which is why, by the way, I suggested for the next AMA as a question that we do not duel on CV. We leave CV open to mainly questing, new players, etc. And maybe we focus on dueling in SD. Because part of the problem with the gas pricing is that the vast majority of heroes were evacuated from SD because of gas pricing.
From Sarandale, SD Sarandale on Klaytn to Crystal Vale.
And that basically doubled the hero count. All of a sudden, at the same time that we have the V3 questing, the Season 4 dueling, pets, and all this stuff, and suddenly the gas price just went nuts.
Yeah.
And that's part of the issue. Gas price would be less than half if there were half the heroes sitting on Crystal Vale. And people don't have a reason most don't feel a reason to go to Sarandale. But if that was the place to duel, then people would also be questing there. They wouldn't be bridging back and forth, right? So they would
That's
stay
cool.
there to duel, might as well quest there as well, might as well level up there, might as well do raffles there. And then all of a sudden, we've lowered the load on CV. But anyway, so what I've done is I've made it so that depending on the gas price, DFKH users are coordinating, not transacting on up to 80% of blocks. It's a bit lower than 80% when gas is low, and it's a little bit higher actually than 80% when gas is very high. And the way that you can see it on the chart is these where you're touching the top. See where it's even at the top? Basically, that's maximum gas. If you look to the right, you see 25 million gas units on the top right.
Yes.
See the note? No, top right. Your other right.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the number of gas units. So when it reaches that, that's the maximum. That's all the blockchain can handle.
Okay.
Now, when it stays up there for a prolonged period of time, it forces the chain to produce more blocks, to process them. And that's basically what we're trying to achieve. While at the same time, sorry.
Yeah, keep going.
While at the same time, we create these troughs where we make sure that it definitely goes well under 25 million on several consecutive blocks, so that gas price can go down. So in the pink or reddish color, what you're seeing is the gas price, right? So blue is the gas limit, which is basically, think of it like how congested the blocks are, how much work we're giving to the blockchain. This is not DFKH, by the way, right? This is the entire blockchain. This information is available on the Explorer from AVAX. So that's what we have there. The pinkish reddish color is the gas price. That's denoted on the left-hand side. So where you see 19 billion, that's 19.6 KLAY. And at the bottom of this chart, you're seeing 17.8 KLAY.
Okay.
This is a 3-second increment. That's a maximum amount of data that AVAX allows you to pull 3 minutes at one time.
Okay.
So, when you see it reaching the bottom of the chart, right, when it's reaching those bottom drops, that's the AI basically holding everything back for a significant period of time, forcing gas pricing to go down. And you can see that the correlation on the chart, and I confirm that correlation with the DFK team.
Wow.
It's not just our imagination. I checked, is it working? Are we the ones doing this? Yes. So
you guys were the ones that lowered the gas prices for the DFK chain.
Yes.
DeFi Kingdoms, baby.
Yes. But as you've probably read, there was an announcement today that they released some optimizations.
Okay. So
am I confused about the date?
I am so discombobulated right now. I went to the lake and then I've got my head is spinning and I'm just so behind on everything. Messages.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. You touch grass.
Yeah.
Chillax.
I had a soccer tournament with my son.
Nice.
In St. Louis, and got even more further discombobulated.
That's a good thing. Don't say discombobulated. Say like disconnected. Disconnected, but connected, right? Connected to people, to family, to
That's right.
To the trees.
Okay.
Alice, could you briefly just talk about scalability and what gas would look like as an influx of players were to come into DFK?
So gas price isn't dictated by the number of players. It's dictated mainly by the number of heroes. And furthermore, it's dictated by how much those heroes can do. So for example, if heroes could quest or duel, but not both, then gas price would go up by X. Right? If they can do both at the same time, which is the case, right? Because dueling doesn't use stamina and doesn't occupy the quest contract, and so forth, then it could be up to double, right? Or whatever the sum is between duels and questing. And as we know, they're actually both can fill up a block. So, for every hero that is summoned and actively maintained, gas will increase. The thing is that it doesn't actually work that way. So we all thought it was that simple. Okay, more heroes, more gas pricing. And the only way to reduce gas pricing is to have less heroes. That's why we came up with the idea, hey, maybe we need to mess with the cooldowns for summoning or increase the burn mechanic. Yeah. And even though I think that's important, and only because Hubert mentioned it, and he's the genius, right? He knows a lot better than all of us combined. So even though that's the case, and we do need some burn mechanics or something to deal with it, obviously, or as others have mentioned, just a growth in the game, right? Another bull market would eliminate the issue either. People with 4,000 heroes would sell half of them to the new players, right? And those new players would put some on Serendale in each of their wallets, right? So they can mine and garden and duel. And so that would help. More players would actually help.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just as moving them to other blockchains would help. If we had another blockchain other than CV that had low gas pricing, likely because it's only used for DFK,
right?
Then the same thing would happen, right? The number of heroes would get cut in half and a third,
right?
And that would help CV and every other chain because it has less heroes. But that aside, and aside from the fact that the issue is that V3 and Season 4 increased gas pricing significantly, and probably Season 5 will a little bit more because they're making it more complex, adding more code, making it more fun.
Okay. So yes, that is one thing that DFK Helper, which by the way, if you're new, DFK Helper is a botting service for DFK. They will they will basically manage your accounts for you. I mean, there's not a whole lot they can't do. They'll quest your heroes. They'll even auto summon your heroes. They'll feed your pets. It does all kinds of different things. There's hardly anything and a whole bunch more. It'll auto level your heroes. Okay, so if you can get an army of heroes, get them questing. That's what Helper does. And so one thing I think you would say that makes Helper stand apart from other bots out there, because there's other botting services out there as well, okay, is that you have been careful. One thing you said is that, I remember when you told me this, I think, when was it? It was before LA, okay, and it just clicked in my mind, okay, because I also have a whole bunch of waifu bots that work great. They're good for me for months, okay, but it's like a basic, simple bot, and as soon as the bot sees a hero ready to quest, it goes. It's just like instant, boom.
I call that sniping. Yeah.
Boom. It's like just boom, go, boom. I summon a hero, and I'm on Klaytn, and then I want to bridge him to DFKChain. It's a race. I summon him, click, close, go to bridge, go to the bridge. Oh, you missed it. He's already questing. So that's how waifu bot is. Okay, so it's like, boom. Now with you try to not make it look like the account is a botted account. You try to make it look like it's a real life person questing account. And I
wouldn't say look though. So my thinking was this. My thinking was when I first saw how botting functioned, right? I saw it sniping like crazy. And I would notice that a bot would use like 1,000 times the resources that a manual player might use. Right? 1,000 times, meaning it's making RPC calls, asking for information, it's hitting up the API nonstop. And this slows everything down for everyone, right? Increases RPC costs for those that pay for those RPCs or maintain them.
Yeah.
So I thought, why don't we make a bot that's not just more optimal than other bots, but more optimal than manual players, right? Because even if you're in the game UI, you notice it's really slow sometimes, especially like on a slow device like a phone. And the reason for this is that there's a lot of data, a lot of items, a lot of heroes, a lot of stuff going on, and it's continually trying to update information so that you have it available. When you click inventory, it's been updated. But in order to do this, it's constantly polling for all that data.
Yeah.
And when you go to the tavern, you want to buy 5 heroes. Every time you buy a hero, the tavern shuts itself off, right? You got to reopen it. And every time you reopen it, it's got to download all the tavern data and filter through it for the filters that you've put. Every time you change a filter, it re-downloads again all the tavern data from the blockchain. This is a massive amount of data, massive amount of calls to buy your 5 heroes. So an example of that, the DFK HAI, it will only get the tavern data once. Gets it once, it saves it, and then it buys the 30 heroes you wanted to buy based off that saved data, rather than pulling it over and over and over and over. And if for those 20 heroes you have totally different filters, that's fine. It uses the cache data to filter all of the preferences. So to give you an example right there, the AI in buying a couple of heroes uses, let's say, 1/30 of the resources of a manual player. But then bots, like you said, the moment the hero is ready to quest, boom, submit.
Right.
25 minutes, submit.
It's just go. It's
right.
like,
and the same on completion. And there's two issues with that. The first is that when you do it right away, there's a very high chance that the contract is going to fail the transaction. It's going to say, no, the hero isn't done yet. So what does this mean? That the contract says on this exact millisecond, right, on the 13th of July at 4:03 p.m. and 33 seconds, the hero is done questing. The moment that happens, those other bots, they're going, complete. Yeah. But the reality is that the RPCs haven't been updated yet. And they're lagging behind, usually a couple of seconds, sometimes even longer.
Exactly.
Minutes. And it'll fail a transaction. Now, when a transaction goes through and fails, so most of them revert before transacting, but some of them go through anyway. And I think I sent you an example of one.
Mm-hmm.
So that transaction, it gets mined on the blockchain. The wallet pays gas to process this failed start quest. Which increases the price for everybody, right? Because it's a transaction added to the block, to that limit of 25 million.
Yeah.
So it's going to end up raising gas pricing for the whole blockchain, and it accomplishes nothing, right? Because it failed. And the user's going to have to do it again and again and again. And the bots often do that sort of thing. They again and again and again, start, and fail. So it's smarter to look at the delay of the blocks. They have a timestamp, and to process the transactions afterwards. And in fact, as I mentioned earlier, one of the efficiencies that we found for lowering gas is combining multiple transactions into one, like the multi-start, the multi-complete, because that allows us to saturate blocks. We can fill up entire blocks, not reach the 25 million, and suddenly we processed an enormous amount of data without increasing the gas price, in fact, decreasing it.
Okay. I see. So that's when it was like an aha moment. Sometimes the bot, there's a reason, because I would come on. I was so used to the waifu bots, like going, they're always, it's just like always going. And then I would sometimes come in when I first signed up with Helper and notice like guys aren't questing. What's going on?
3-4 minutes go by.
Yeah. Like a few minutes go by or 20 minutes go by, and it's like, wait, they're still not questing.
Oh, not 20, never 20, never 20, never 10.
Okay.
Less than 10.
And so usually there's a reason for that. That's important. Okay. And so the bot does other things too, as far as managing quests to minimize the gas fees. So why have you guys been accused of being the ones that increase the gas fees? What's going on?
So this argument, and again, it's a very tiny number of people, and it's those number of people that are the loudest in the general chat. And they are also the ones that are usually complaining, right?
Okay.
Fighting. Oh, Jewel is going down. Oh, there's fewer players. Oh, whereas, the majority of us don't see that at all, right? We see an amazing game that's continued to be developed. We see an amazing team. We see all of the passion and the confidence. And the fighters don't see that. So they'll always see something wrong somewhere. But regardless, it's important to listen to what everybody has to say. Yeah. And in fact, it's one of the reasons that I put so many hours into trying to find a solution, or to become part of the solution rather than say part of the problem. But this is the logic. The logic is this. They're saying, okay, well, if gas is as high as it is because there's so many heroes questing and stuff, then wouldn't it make sense that if there were no bots, that a lot of people would have just quit the game? Not quest those heroes, and so gas would be 3-way. Yeah, that's 100% true, right? If everybody abandons the game, if you're the only one playing, then sure, you can pay no gas. You can trade with your friends. You can swap for anything, for a millionth of a jewel, right?
Put them on OpenSea and trade them for $1.
So that's the argument. But they're saying, well, not all bots, just your bot. And why your bot?
Why?
Well, because DFKH is the largest.
Oh,
it's the largest.
that's their
as
only
far as we know.
argument. That's their only argument.
Yeah, of course. That's the argument. Is if there were no bots, if there were no bots, number one, if there were no really good bots like yours, right? Easy to configure, easy for people to come in and use. If they were less trusted. So basically, we're just talking in general, people didn't want to use bots for a variety of reasons. Then those heroes would get abandoned. Those people would play the game a lot less or leave the game.
Right.
And gas price would be much lower. Yeah.
One of the first videos I ever did, was here's why botting is essential for DeFi Kingdom. Something along those lines. If you go,
which I think is temporary, by the way.
Yeah, and I even was all over Frisky Fox, because back then it was a little bit more taboo to talk about botting, and I put
you can even mention it in Gen Chat. Yeah, if you mention a bot.
It's like, no, the game will die without bots, because nobody got time for this. I got, at the time I thought 300-400 heroes was a lot, back then.
It was a lot.
Hero holders in the world.
That was before, multi-starts and the queuing and all these things they have now. The auto selection of heroes, you have to scroll and find them. Oh, here's the fishing guy.
In development earlier, I saw a conversation. Were you guys talking about, because the gas has got so low now, that old wallets are reviving? Is that, did I read that?
Yeah. Do you have that chart, Grady? The very last one?
Okay, I'll pull that back up. Okay. I do. What is this one here?
Okay, so this one shows. Okay, so on the left, you see transactions per second average. So these figures are in the Explorer, in the AVAX Explorer, right? It's public info.
Okay.
So this shows that, for example, on 11th July, which was before we did the last set of gas optimizations.
Okay.
No, sorry. After we started on 5 July. Right. Okay. So it's a couple of days in, and I kept improving it a little bit each day. We were at 4.78 transactions per second on average. And that was normal. That's like the normal for the chain. Okay. And after we managed to lower gas pricing from 25 GUI, let's say, to an average of about 15.
Yeah.
We've noticed what's happening here a couple of days later, and you see this going up to 5.91 average transactions per second. That's a 24% increase. That's basically like a quarter more, right?
Oh, yeah.
So a quarter more transactions. Now, where did these transactions come from? Because this number of transactions is equivalent to what we had like at the height of dueling, but there is no dueling.
Right.
And dueling uses a lot of gas. So what's going on? So it really can only be heroes that have woken up. Like we have all, I think, heard from people that say, you know what? I'm going to stop playing DFK for a while because gas is so high. It's not even worth it to run my bot. They're running other bots, right? That use more gas. And of course, XEarn, was affected by the same thing. So all these people just kind of like quit or went into hibernation.
Okay.
And that happened at the same time. It happened slowly, right, over the course of the last 2 months.
Yeah.
And so now they've come back apparently.
So some of those that were like stalemated because of the fees, now all of a sudden kick back in.
Right.
Yeah, there were 3 people in Gen Chat over the weekend that came back in and said, hey, I've been gone for a while. How do I get my stuff out of Harmony? So we were constantly sharing the Harmony bridge information to, I think there was at least 6 or 7 people on Saturday or Friday that came in.
Yeah.
We can always identify them because of the blue color coding on the name. We know it's like a player from that had a lot of, had an OG wallet, right? So there was a lot of conversation about that this weekend.
Yeah. So Crypto Baby H said that you basically single-handedly lowered the gas fees on the DFK chain.
Yeah, but at the same time, right. So like right now, with this number of transactions, we should be seeing peaks of about 34 GUI. And we should be seeing an average of around 28 or 29. Instead, we're at, what is it now? 15.8.
15.8. Huh.
Now, I have tried really, really hard to get it lower, to get it even as low as 3-way. I've gone, just the fact that I'm basically banning my users from using 80% of the block space, right? That's extreme.
Wow.
And it doesn't really affect the users themselves. It's more on my side, where I have to pile up all of these transactions, and it takes up more resources for me to wait, pile everything up, and then submit it all together, to track it, to constantly check what is the gas price, how large are the blocks being filled. So it's a bit of a pain.
Yeah.
But the reason that it takes 80% is because we are a tiny portion of the blockchain. Right? The heroes that are under DFK HEI are like, well, some people are like, oh, DCR said it's half of all heroes, but it was taken out of context, and he's trying to make an argument, so there's a little bit of an exaggeration there. We know from DFK itself, inside the game, if you go to the bulletin board, the marketplace, it says how many heroes there are, and I think we're currently at something like 550,000 live heroes. Now we're managing less than a third of that. Right? Less than a third of that. But the DCR, when I asked him, why did you say 50%? He says, well, it's because if you think about it, how many of those heroes are active? How many are still on Harmony? How many got abandoned? So maybe we have half of all active heroes. That's what he's thinking. Maybe of the 150,000, maybe there's only like 300,000 or less that are
actively questing still. Right.
Yeah, and I know a question that I kept getting after the last stream with Brown Gent was, Zellies had mentioned, if you guys did all of the botting or all of the automation and all of the AI, then we could get gas down to basically nothing, because it would be consistent
to the minimum.
And then another question came up, well, why don't you go talk to the other people that are running bots like Diffkey and other botters and coordinate? And so Zellies had a really good explanation to that. It's like, it's basically impossible, because he's able to control all of our transactions through a modular process, but they're not able to do that because each of their operators are operating as octopus arms. They're like doing their own thing. So there's not a way for them to streamline their functionality like Zellies has programmed this functionality.
Yeah.
So even if there was a conversation, we really couldn't control how they would do it, even if we tried to collab.
Yeah.
The issue is that all of them have a program that either runs on the player's own browser or their player's own computer.
Right.
And it's the player. It's 100%, all those bots, right? The user runs it themselves. And it can't communicate with other instances as a result of that, because it's all separated. And so it can't know that their neighbor and their 10 best friends even, that they're about to submit a whole bunch of massive transactions, and that maybe I should wait, maybe I should do it with them, maybe I should, right? None of that happens. They just cannot coordinate. Whereas we can coordinate. We can submit 300 transactions from different wallets at the same time to be able to leave, this empty space for the gas price to go down, which you saw on the chart.
Yeah.
It's just an issue of infrastructure. But the reason I built it this way, it's not a mistake. I built it this way because I wanted DFK to control botting, to have their own native automation, so people wouldn't have to go to some undoxed, anonymous coder somewhere outside the US, right?
Right.
I wanted this whole thing to be legit. And I thought, and at the same time, if you remember, actually, no, this is the case even right now. So right now, people want to benefit from, let's say, the price of gold mining, from the dual rewards, and they will use a bot, another bot, because we don't allow this kind of thing, but they'll do a couple hundred wallets. They'll create a couple hundred wallets just to mine gold, just to do duels, or whatever the profitable thing is.
Right.
And they're doing this because you can't do it on one wallet, right? There's a limit of 18 gold miners. There's a limit of one duel at a time per type.
Yeah.
And so they're basically doing this as a way to hide from the system.
Okay.
Right? I'm not one player. I'm 500 players.
Right.
So I can do 500 duels at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And what this does is this lowers. I mean, it's unethical.
Mm-hmm.
It lowers the rewards for everybody, because you spent potentially a year or more perfecting your heroes to be good at duels.
Yeah, 2 years.
with crystals, and you bought those heroes, 2 years ago at like $300 for a floor common.
Right.
Right. As we all did.
Yeah.
And so you spent thousands of dollars on these heroes that you use for your duels, and you feel okay about it when at the end of the day you want a couple of greater crystals, right? A couple of valuable things on stones you can use to summon better heroes and so forth. Yeah. And so that's your reward. And some of it you sell to pay for some of the costs involved in vialing your heroes and whatever else you did. But when other people do this, when one person can go and get hundreds or thousands of wallets to avoid the game mechanics, to basically break the game, to cheat, right? And get all those items and then dump them into the market, because obviously they're not going to use them, right? Dump all that into the market. That lowers the price for all those items, and the rest of us get screwed. The rest of us are following the rules, right? And have one wallet or two or three. That's like the normal thing. So one of my goals with DFKH was basically to not allow it. That's why the subscription tier, I mean, most of my cost is per wallet because each one is its own instance. Mm-hmm. But my mentality was, if DFK had an automation system, they could control how many wallets a player can have. Could be 2, could be 3, could be 4, whatever the number is. Definitely not going to be hundreds. And the automation can be all in line with their view of how the game should be played. Like, this shouldn't be automated. This should be automated.
Yeah.
And so if they had, so that's why I built this, right? I built it for DFK as per my proposals that are now like a year old or so.
Yeah. I know your vision is to be have this be a part of the in-game DFK.
Right. Like, I don't want it for myself. It was always intended, to support the ecosystem. And now we have an additional reason, which is the load balancing, right? So if the AI was functioning, it was free for everyone and everyone could use it, and it was just part of the system, then all the heroes in the game would be transacted when it's optimal. Lowering gas pricing as much as possible.
Yeah. So interesting. Okay. I love it, man. This is great. Okay. And so Coolio has been your right-hand man this whole time, helping you onboard people and people who are a mess like me. Coolio had a hell. I'm sure I'm your favorite guy you've ever onboarded there.
Oh, you were great. You were great, Grady.
I don't know.
Until I emailed him crying because I couldn't get my PGP processed right.
Encrypting the key. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. So Coolio is a military man, and you're like hardcore. You're out there in the woods, training and okay. And so you have not. I guess there is a rumor that you stepped away from DFK Helper. That's not true. First of all, to clarify that, right? And so you want to hit more on that. What is your role now? What's going on? Family, education, career. Yes.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I think a few people know the history of kind of how we started. I think we've talked about it on your stream before, but basically, I had created a website with another friend for DFK, and I was talking with Zealous, and we got to talking about the ecosystem, the way things were working, how to be ethical, those kind of things, and we just wanted DFK to be an ideal game that a community could gather around and enjoy. So we saw a lot of the problems within it, and Zealous really, he was kind of the visionary for where he wanted to go with it. And I had just little connections in the community here and there. And so we got started, and I had no idea where this thing was going to go.
Yeah.
And to see where we are today, I just wanted to help basically, bring this about so that, because I saw the brainchild of what Zealous wanted, and it was very intimidating. I was like, yeah, exactly. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because the whole vision, at least for me, was I really wanted to see Zealous on the DFK team so that he could make an impact and help the community so that this thing could run more efficiently, because I saw what he was capable of.
That would be phenomenal if Zealous was on the team. Oh my gosh.
That would be ideal. So, but as DFKH continued to grow and grow, I tried to be there for the community as much as I could. because there was just an influx of users who were wanting our service because we could just do so much more than all the other bots. There were just so many more features, and I wanted to help, users understand what we were capable of, things like that. So from a guy who was, full-time college, full-time military, doing different trainings and things like that, trying to support my family, all that kind of stuff, I was trying to make as much time also as I could for the DFK community with Helper. And I've done what I can, but thankfully, I've known Unity.
Back then, it was just like the Inner Grove, right? Sandwich Punch. They were like one of your first adopters, right?
No, I built DFKH for Sandwich Punch, really.
Right.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah. So we started real small. It wasn't anything crazy. But to see where we are today, I need more help because I'm so busy in so many different areas. That Crypto Baby was, we met with her, and she's phenomenal. Her knowledge, her expertise, her skill set, all those things. But more importantly to me was that she's been in the community just as long as we have. Basically since this thing started. So,
and she's got the right spirit and heart for it, and she's got the gift. In the Bible, you hear of the gifts of the Holy Spirit. Ooh, speaking in tongues, prophesying, and all these different gifts.
I'm not running the aisles.
Really spiritual, spiritual gifts. But one of the gifts in there, right off the bat, is a gift of administration. One of the most important gifts, and it is a gift. And Crypto Baby H has it, keeping our lives together. Kong kind of has that a little bit for me, right? So
and hospitality. I think hospitality is another huge, I guess, quote unquote gift, right? For Crypto Baby, she's extremely hospitable, extremely takes care and patience into the live, like not just this isn't just like a person somewhere. This is somebody who means something, because that's the way I've always tried to approach it. Like with DFK Helper is like. That's why I spent so long with people trying to, help them out with different integrations and stuff, because a lot of people are just like, how can I make this the fastest, quickest way and just, forget about the person, because we're all individual people behind these screens. So having Crypto Baby as a part of Unity Guild and having seen what she's done for the community, it was kind of a no-brainer that if I need help, then I'm going to, transition where she can be the predominant force for DFK Helper, and I'm kind of just going to be that backup, because I know the system, I know how we've run for so long. Then I can kind of help her in the background.
Nice, and you need that for your own family life and career that you have going, and so it's definitely not Coolio stepping away. It's Coolio stepping back and letting Crypto Baby H come in and be a help.
That was one of my conditions, was that he wasn't going anywhere. I was like, no, please no. And, but yeah, it was basically, to come in and kind of revive the conversation, and just really revive what's going on, because, I had heard of the Helper. I don't know who it was that reached out to me on Twitter while I was still on XRN. And I was like, I don't really know that much about it. Let me kind of just look. And I just, thought, let's get something going to where the community actually understands what this is. It is so much more than even I am utilizing right now. And I'm up to 920. And I've added 270 heroes in the last 2 weeks because I can, It's just because it's so good. And it's such a good product. It just really is seamless. It blows my mind, because the only other bot I had ever used was XRN. So I didn't really know what I was missing out on. And then I think I requested maybe 5 eggs in a month. And then I got 5 eggs in like 3 hours. I was blown away. I had 180 eggs by the end of the week. And I was blown away. And so we were having so much fun. Like the Unity Guild, we had only ever used XRN. So, Zealous and Cleo worked with us to create a multi-pack wallet to where the guild's covering the cost of it, to let our players under 100 heroes kind of come in and try it out, because they really don't have that large of wallets. But then they got in there, and then it hasn't even been a month. 3 of them's already jumped off to get their own subs, because they didn't want to just have the quest, or they wanted more. So they're like, wait, this is too good. And so they're leaving spots for other little wallets to come in and have a chance to experience it. So it's kind of like a revolving door. We're trying to get them off us and go, do your own thing. And it's kind of working out. And it's kind of spreading the word a little bit. So, but yeah, that was what really kind of got me, was my relationship with Coolio. He reached out to me way back last year when he came out with the next summoner, him and Sickles, or I think it was the next summer app, and it wasn't even out there yet, published. And we did some beta testing, and I got my very first Mythic from that tool. And so I was like, no way! It took me a year and a half, and then I've got 9 more since then. Just in as soon as you gave it to me, I'm like, give me more. So yeah, that tool blew my mind. So when he reached out to me, I was like, okay, yeah, I trust this guy. I got Mythics and legendaries because of him. So,
wow. Okay. So, what was I gonna? Oh, I was gonna say a couple things here. So, Blockchain John, I wonder if this guy has a bot. He's new to the game, and he's a streamer. He's got a podcast that he does all the time. Faithful, Steady Freddy. He's pretty new to the game. I wonder if this guy's got a bot going yet. Let's go, Blockchain John. So, okay, and Sticks intern, I love you. You're getting a lot of love here in the house. And you got Crypto Baby H. You said that you guys have brought in several new people just here even this week.
Yeah, it was up to 9 people. A couple of them had been in a month or so, but really didn't have their answers. And then I told my son yesterday, I said it felt like puppy dogs this whole weekend, because no matter where I was in the community, they would come up and ask a question. So it was like just people following me around for like the whole weekend asking questions. And finally I was just like, okay, guys, we got to get off DM, get into the forums, because whatever questions you're asking, somebody else has that same question too. Plus you can consider you guys a class. We call ourselves the OGs. We've been here. Now you guys are kind of like the revive class. Yeah. And that's what we're kind of talking about next week in Gen Chat. We're having that Christmas in July that Minnie and Kira put together. The whole point was the OGs come back and have a reunion and welcome newbies. And let's kick it off. Let's start this out. I just got chills. I literally just got chills.
I love it. I remember a year ago, this is why I started the YouTube channel in the first place, was to help DeFi Kingdoms. I was worried it was going to die, with all the stuff going on and the bridge hack and all that last year. And right at last year is when I started this channel. Literally, this could be, for all I know, the 1 year, anniversary. I did a couple little streams before that just for this group that I had started, this text group. But then I didn't really do any streams for months. And I was like, okay, I need to start my channel. And it was DeFi Kingdoms, baby, coming to the 8. And I remember as I was plugging in to the ecosystem and just seeing, I didn't even know what was out there. And I didn't even hardly know what Discord was at the time. And you were one of the first Discord channels I joined, Unity Guild. And I just remember you were always there being helpful. You had just the right heart, and which is the same spirit or heart that's going on here. What does Zellies do with the money that he's making in this? Well, he sends it for advertisement for new people to come into the game. And that is the whole thing with Unity Guild, is you have a mentor and a mentee program where new people can come to the game, including right up here, right off the bat, my nephew, who I just got into the game, baby Henry. Okay. And he was in there today, and he's been blowing me up. He's got some heroes.
Send him over. Well, we'll put him through the program, and if he can take the bot quiz and pass the bot quiz with 80% or more, you get a welcome pack, which includes a hero, a pet, an egg. So, so donations, pay for all of that. So, send him over. We'd love to help him and get him introduced to the other 6 guys that are in our class. We found out we had a 14-year-old and a 13-year-old. And I was like, how are you asking these questions at 13 and 14? And they're already asking about summoning with transcendent skills, burning. I'm like, wait, what? I still don't even get that sometimes. But it's really good. But 13 and 14-year-olds, and this is our 5th known teenager in the last month or so that's been under 18, and they're coming in gangbusters, ready to do the whole thing.
Henry and his brother. Henry's 16 and his brother is like 13, I think. Luca.
We finally broke that 21 record, that 21 bubble. I think it's getting out there enough now that the teenagers are starting to not be intimidated by the fact that it's crypto. They're now just seeing game and really kind of moving forward with it. Because I asked them how did they hear about it, and they said one of their friends at school was talking about it at lunch. Yeah. And I was like, what? Okay, great. That is excellent to hear.
I love hearing that. Right. And so the heart and the spirit here, one thing that really has drawn me to Zellies, it's like my people, is that the heart is for what does good. That's the governing foundational principle. What does good for DeFi Kingdoms? And so
wasn't that the Campbell's logo, Grady?
What's that?
That was the Campbell's logo for Campbell's soup.
Oh, really? So my whole mantra, my foundational piece to my soul is the golden rule, the governing principle of looking out for the best interests of others over yourself. That's the key to success in life and in business as well. 100%. And you got to build the business on that foundation of the golden rule and doing what does good to, and so for the big picture, for the whole community, it's not about trying to make money at all. It's like the vision here is not money driven. The vision here is passion driven. That's a difference here. It's a big difference. Okay.
And socially driven as well.
And so you guys are trying to come alongside, build up and make things better, be awesome as much as humanly possible. In every way.
Something I was taught in the military that sticks to me continually. So they got me at an impressionable age, let's say, is that I should always be thinking about how can I be a force multiplier. So what is a force multiplier? A force multiplier is a person that can insert themselves into a variety of activities that allow, let's say, more people to do their thing and to do it better. So for example, we found that 3 people could deploy if one person could take over their work or certain aspects of their work, right? So it's like 1 soldier becomes 3, right? The army has the army of 1, but this is an Air Force idea. It's the force multiplier, right? How can I
love it,
make us be more than what we actually are? And that's what I brought to DFKH, this mentality that we should multiply the force, which is to say that we should allow influencers to focus on influencing and create more content. That we should basically, it's finding how to bring more people into DFK, how to keep people interested in DFK rather than getting frustrated or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'd like to say that we're like a temporary band-aid because we're just looking at whatever the current issue is. We try to find a solution. And then the game UI catches up, right? So the game UI came up with the multi-start, the multi-questing. It came up with the same leveling system that we came up with, right? Highest stat, auto selection, all the stuff that we did first, they followed. Because obviously it was in their plan to do so, right? It was pretty clear that was part of their plan.
Yeah.
But we just beat them to it because we're an additional resource. We're a force multiplier. So we're like the Band-Aid. So we do it, and then until they have a chance to get into the area.
Well, I like to call this group more like an innovator versus a Band-Aid, because I think the quick innovation causes us not to have a Band-Aid. So, I mean, literally 24 hours. So you don't give yourself enough credit. But I mean, we had Sarandale or CV within 2 days of going live, or 1 day going live. Pets within a day. I mean, there literally was like no downtime. With XEarn, it took us 6 weeks to get just our first quest on CV after we had already migrated. So it took 6 weeks, and you did it in a day. So I mean, I just I would like you to take some credit, because you do work extremely hard. And one of the things I'm hoping to do is help level that out, to give him a break so he can have that big brain power looking ahead to innovate. With the onboarding of HaMaN, the expeditions, all the things that we've got coming up in Change, be thinking about that, matching up our pets to our heroes with all of our elements and our bonus questing and all these things that we're going to have. We got 19 points of matching up with pets we got to think about. And just like all these things, I just, want him to not worry about gas right now anymore. And, not that I could tell him what to do. He's going to do his thing, but I just don't want him overworked.
Can I explain why I use the term Band-Aid?
Yeah.
So there's a couple of reasons. The first one is that my role model, right, is the founders of this thing, right? Frisky and Hubert and Magnus, right? Dreamer. So they're my role models.
Yeah.
And if I was them, I don't think I would like it any more than a cook would like it. If somebody comes in and says, "Hey, can I have a little more salt?" Right?
Right.
If it needs more salt, it wasn't cooked properly, potentially, right? Though,
Right.
of course, there's an issue of taste. So I say Band-Aid because the first reason why I say Band-Aid is because the thing is awesome. DFK is awesome. It's well ahead of everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have a team of 2,000 coders like most games? No, they don't. Not in the current market, anyway.
Yeah.
But what they're doing with the few people that they have available at the moment is amazing, right?
Right.
And it's all new territory. It's not like they can copy paste somebody else's work.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is that they will catch up, right? So we're doing something to ease the transition into the new features, because basically new features are coming out so fast that even they can't keep up with their new features. So that's where we come in. We're a temporary measure to help bridge the gap between the UI and the new feature sets and the limitations between related technologies, the main one being like MetaMask and other wallets. Right? They don't allow you to transact on 2 chains at the same time.
Yeah, I guess there's a better wallet coming out, maybe better than MetaMask, it sounds like they were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So, okay. And so, and shout out real quick to Christian Peter, who's got DFK today. It's phenomenal. We'll be seeing him tomorrow. I love it. Okay. So, because I know he's real kind of integrated with you guys, you guys have some big vision, different things you guys are working on out there. Okay. And, I know that the spreadsheet, it's like for a guy like me. Okay. So I know you've been working on for a while, trying to get that more.
Have you looked at the UI recently?
An automated UI thing. So how's that coming along where we don't have to use the spreadsheets anymore? Is there any news there?
Yeah. So first, I think we should take a look at the UI. Can anyone stream their UI access?
What?
Great, good.
I'm not sure. What do you mean?
Just go to DFKHelper.com. And then,
okay. Go to DFKHelper.com. Okay.
So it's in continual development, right? And everything you see is free. Doesn't require a subscription.
Okay. When you go to DFKHelper.com. All right. It's loading. Here we are. Okay.
Yes, so the community asked for this in the castle. We're requesting to get this in the castle because everybody else is there. So we're trying to get into the space as well. I did reach out to Bola, and he did say he was sorry. It kind of got slipped through the cracks, and with a lot of things going on at summer vacation and stuff, he would get to it, and he apologized for the delay. But we would really like to get some of our information out there and shareable for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. So where are we going from here?
On the left-hand side on the menu, click something like the heroes, for example. It's a little hero icon.
With the sword.
Oh, with the sword.
Yes.
All right. Whoops.
Oh, you never signed in? Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. So definitely do that.
Okay. Sign in with Discord?
Yes.
All right. This shows you guys how much of a mess that I am. Okay.
I still have to do it every time on mine too, because I do it from my phone.
Okay.
One time though.
Should be once.
Oh, you haven't done that either. Okay. So yeah, do that.
Okay.
Good. Profile, connect wallet. Go down and connect the wallet. Down.
Oh yeah, right there. Okay. And I'll zoom in here.
And you're probably using MetaMask.
Yes.
Click that one.
Okay.
And you'll sign one transaction to prove you own that wallet.
Did I do all of them? All my wallets here? Okay.
Yeah, you can actually add unlimited number of wallets and
Okay.
see them all in one dashboard. And this is a one-time thing. So you do it once, it's connected, and then it's saved. That all those wallets belong to you.
Okay.
And then you only have to log in with Discord. You don't need MetaMask or another wallet. So you can basically do this with a cold wallet.
Okay.
Checking all your stats.
And I wasn't on the right. I thought I was on the DFK chain. Okay.
Oops.
All right.
Oh, there you go. So now click on the hero thing again.
Okay. Or is it?
Refresh? Did you end up signing that transaction, or what happened?
I'll refresh. Maybe it just needs a refresh. The internet is
Might-
bugging.
Check your MetaMask real quick.
Okay.
You got a pending transaction?
They just changed this.
Yeah, MetaMask threw me for a loop. I ended up sending 71 Joule to myself twice trying to send it to somebody, and they swore they never got it. And I said, here it is. I swear, here, I sent it. And I ended up sending it to myself twice because of the click to get it to send to somebody.
Hit the link button.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, they are.
yourself.
Okay.
So be careful for that, everybody.
Okay. There it is.
Yeah.
Hit the link.
All right.
Yeah.
No, so you can see it there. You would see all your wallets if there were more
Okay.
when you have more. So click
I'll
on the
do
little
more.
hero,
Yeah. Okay. All right.
and it's loaded up the information for all your heroes, for example. So you got
Okay.
all their data. You can scroll to the right. You can click the little icon on the top left there if you wanted to add more categories or filters or whatever you want.
Or
But
lose
basically, everything is here.
Everything's here.
Yes. And now if you look on the top, we're in a category right now called browse, right? That's the
Okay, yeah.
standard category. But you have also quest, dual, summon, bridge, transfer. Obviously, these are AI related things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or they're going to be AI boosted. So when you're actually using the DFK AI, you'll have additional options here. But the
Okay.
idea is for you to have an interface where you can see everything that's going on in your wallet across all your wallets at one time. So you could have 10 wallets and you can see the data for all of them, which you have in all of them. Click, for example, the items icon. It's like
Okay.
the third one on the left, the very left.
Okay. Third one down. Okay.
So here you would be able to select, see at the top, it says wallet all. You can select one wallet or all, and then it combines. So you know that you have, 80,000 tiers across all of your wallets, for example, right?
Okay.
200 eggs or whatever it might be. So all of that is here.
It's probably still loading right now, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, that I'm not sure about. We'll check with DCR.
Okay.
Probably some updates going on. But on the left-hand side in the blue is Christovale, right? And on the right is Serendale. So you're able to see all of your wallets
Oh,
on all the chains, right now 2, but in the future more, at the
right.
same time. You know how painful it is to do that in the game, right? You have to switch the
Right.
wallets, reload, it takes a while. So that's that. The next feature is, for
Okay.
example, bridge and transfer. So click on bridge.
Okay. What this reminds me of is DFK Quester.
Yeah,
Are
it's
you-
similar.
Okay.
So if you remember, we had brought Born onto the team at the end of last year. But
Okay,
the goal was basically for him to produce a DFK Quester like import, or to port those features over for us.
Yeah.
But he was too busy and couldn't do it.
Right. And his life is crazy.
Right. And this is where DCR came in and did this for us with Ulan. So you can see the little pictures. You can see the little paw. See the little paw? That means a pet is equipped.
Oh.
See, some of them don't have it.
Oh,
They don't have a pet. And you can select that little box. So in this case, to bridge them, right? So you can select many heroes, bridge them.
Okay.
You can also transfer them. Both of those options are at the top, right? Bridge and transfer.
Wow,
And
that's
this-
even so much better than Quester because you had to select them 25 at a time and have to select click 50 times.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
And-
This is awesome.
And it's also free. This is all free stuff. Anybody can use.
Everybody.
Okay. So how do you click them all at the same time?
Do we have a select all button? If there is one, it's on the bottom left.
The way
Oh,
I
yeah,
did
I
it
guess
is I
there's
just
another-
held down control and you bring your mouse down it and it just
Mhm.
highlights them. It just did it for me as like a quick select.
And this is all work in progress. We're gonna add more toggles and all kinds of stuff.
Okay. And so all this is a work in progress still.
Yeah,
And-
every couple of days, there's a new feature being added on here. We usually don't even announce it.
And
so
this is going to
soon,
replace our spreadsheets.
this is going to replace our spreadsheets eventually here. Right?
Yes. Do we have pets working? Try the pets. I don't know if the public can see it. We have it in our beta.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So there's your
You can
pets.
see it. Yeah.
This is all my pets, huh? Wow. That's a lot of pets.
We need
Yeah,
we can do maybe make a summoning concept for matching up pets to heroes.
Okay.
for perfect bonding for element purities. And
So
there'd be, yep.
So what I meant by this whole the force multiplier thing, I really do apply it to everything that I do. So my thinking is, how can we help multiply the DFK team, right? Help them with development, so they don't have to worry about the little UI issues that we can resolve ourselves.
Yeah.
And how can we help influencers produce more content? How can we help external developers develop more tools or more of what they do, right? So the first people that I approached were producers of other things and other devs in the community to say, hey, why don't you come on over to our team and help us develop? Like, you can develop whatever it is you wanted to develop to begin with. And the reason that I try to bring everyone together to develop together is because I've noticed a pattern from the beginning of the game. The pattern is that there's a bull market, money comes in, devs apply for and receive these huge grants. So if you remember all those analytical tools that pretty much don't exist anymore or haven't been updated, they received like, I don't know, 50 grand, right? $50,000 in Joule and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so they received all these grants to make these free tools, and then they either abandon them, you can't even access them anymore.
Right.
And this wasn't really, this was the game's money, right? This wasn't like the owner of DFK. No, this is the game's money. This is our money.
This is our money, right?
It's our money. It's the community's money. So they take that money, they produce something, and then they disappear because, it's not the game bringing the most money, or there's not more money to be had here. This kind of thing.
I remember it was DFK Tools, actually. Yeah. I loved what they were doing. And because when I made Next DFK Hero, it was kind of similar, but it was a little bit different. So I was like, okay, that's pretty cool what you're doing. And then they ended up leaving just because the economy in the space. And then they tried to come back recently. And
like
again, like you're saying, Zealous. Yeah. And then they tried, and then they were like, no, it's not actually working out. So yeah.
It's not worth the money.
Yeah, I think DFK Trader was the most disappointment that I think everybody talked about for even 6 months after they were gone. And now this replaces it for sure, because you get the
small things,
everything.
Like Expert, right? DFK Expert. Like we love DFK Expert, and I don't think it was a reason of money or anything like that, right? Because free tool.
He was having to pay like $600 a year just to support it, and he had never gotten paid. I don't think Expert ever got paid a dime.
So that's why my idea is, if we all develop together, then we can support each other, because the latest tool is bringing in enough revenue to pay for the server costs or whatever it is. The dev that's working on it doesn't need to pay out of pocket. The whole community uses it, and together there's enough funding for us to continually fund development, and more importantly, for that development to not be lost. Because the saddest thing that I see is that everybody's reinventing the wheel.
Right.
Like, here's a new bot, here's a new statistical interface, here's a new, and then they build it. Everybody else is like, it's really good, so I'm just going to stop developing mine. And then that person is like, the server costs are too much, and my life situation has changed. Walking my dog takes too much time. Boom, they shut it down. And now there's nothing. The community has nothing.
Right.
And somebody else has to start from scratch again. So my idea is, let's develop together. Let's keep it together. Let's keep it alive.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the plan. And so that's why you see us growing the way that we're growing. And we focus on people that are passionate, not that want money.
Right.
So it's usually people that are fine in their normal life. They don't do this as a job or as a career, like the majority of coders in this space.
Yeah.
And we're just here for DFK. We're not here for
Yay,
crypto.
GoldenEye. Sorry. GoldenEye just joined. Welcome.
Hey.
I love it.
Welcome.
Let's go. GoldenEye's new. He's another new one to the ecosystem, baby. Let's go.
He said he just added his wallets to the new format.
Yeah, dude.
It's really cool.
So Crypto Baby H, you're bringing on more people than you could even handle, right?
Yeah, I've got people trying to kind of handle it, and Mythic Squad's really kind of stepping up and really kind of taking a focus of development. And really we talked about just basically Unity joining Mythic Squad from the standpoint of they're going to be like our combat. When I say join, it's like me and 4 people that'll combat with them. Just so that we can, have a combat squad or something like that. We're talking about it. And I think it kind of was voted through during our initial pack meeting that we had on Friday. So that's the plan, is like, me and the core having a place to go, because really we're a guild that doesn't have like any combat training or nothing. We're education. We're a community for all guilds, all places. So how would we, how do we quest, or how do we, get into the next part of the game and not be left behind, as people, as players. So this is, something into the conversation that we're having.
That is amazing. So when you say you're working with Mythic Squad, you mean for bringing in new people, like in helping to train new people how to play the game.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So basically we bring the educational structure, the format, the channels, the programs that we've already created, the quizzes, all of the infrastructure is there. I just can't do with now my passion's moving a little bit skewed in the space to be with the helper team. I want to stay focused there. But when I have, 16, 17 DMs of every, 15 minutes,
right.
And I'm saying the same thing 16 times in one day.
Right.
So having a support team as strong as Mythic Squad and as passionate as they are about the community, same heart that we feel.
Same heart.
Yeah.
Same exact heart.
Yeah, I think it's a good fit. It'd be, me and Nani and Spiky and Dids and a couple other people that have just been like, our core team over, a couple years now.
Yep. And I know the Mythic Squad also, Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms comes right into it too, because they've all kind of got the same spirit there and they're all real close. It all kind of just meshes well. Like guys like Wowie, when you talked about how to actually battle and combat, Wowie has that same heart. He just has this spreadsheet out there for everybody to look at, Yeah,
we'll see how nice it gets once we get like into mid-season 2 of PvP and PvE, and people's raiding each other's gardens and creeks and rivers on their land.
Burning down their forest.
We'll start locking the door down south.
That's gonna be crazy. Oh my gosh. So I'm loving this. I'm really loving the vibe here and loving the fact that Unity is kind of combining with Mythic Squad a little bit.
We'll see how. I mean, I don't know if like Unity Guild will go away or if they'll just maybe use the infrastructure to kind of build a, because the channels are all there. Actually, you guys, somebody needs to go check out my Discord. 3 hours. I rebuilt it to the onboarding Discord because I wanted to practice on mine in case I broke it before I did it into Helper. So we basically rebuilt our entire Discord. And now when you come in, it actually asks you 4 specific questions. It's an algorithm and it builds the channels that are fit for you. That's the only channels you'll see unless you come back and change your algorithm of why you're there. So are you there for friends? You there to game? You there to play poker? Are you there to be a mentor? Are you there to get taught? And it builds the whole infrastructure around them, but they can change the channels anytime they want. And so it basically is personality driven. So as your personality changes within the community, your questions and answers change as well, because it starts to learn your responses. And it's absolutely mind blowing.
Wow.
It was awesome. So we're going to work on that with the helper community to provide a space there as far as just onboarding. We're going to focus it as a service more than just a hangout education structure.
Can I add to this? May I?
Keep going.
So, I think the name says it all. The name Unity, right? I think that's basically what we're talking about. So, so when I came into this space, first I went to Bolon. You can ask him.
Yeah.
And I said, Bolon, are you okay with me developing a bot? I went to Frisky. I said, hey, Frisky, you okay with me doing duels, auto dueling? Can they go this fast or that fast? Should I limit it to this or that? Right. So everything that I've done it, or I've tried to with the blessing, let's say the private blessing of the DFK team for liability reasons or whatever. And I've also gone to other devs. So for example, in the beginning, I went to Than from Diffkey and I said, hey man, how about we get together? And my idea is to have something that works on the cloud or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Can we join forces? This kind of thing. When I needed a summoning tool, when I needed an analytics tool, right? I went to Born. I said, Born, you got the best thing out there.
Yeah.
Why don't we join forces? I do the same with the guilds. Like we don't need our own guild per se.
Right.
And so my idea of the whole DFK community is that's what we are. We are unity. right? Unity is what we need.
I say that all the time. Unity is the community.
The rising tide raises all ships.
That's right.
We're here for each other, right? You got family problems, you're in the hospital, don't worry, I'll take care of your heroes. I'll take care of this or that, or we're helping each other continually. If I had known that DFK Expert couldn't pay server fees, I would have said, come on over. I've said this to a lot of folks, and they've told me no. For example, I went to Fight Club, to Gonix, and I said, hey, man, why don't you come on over, and we'll take care of your fees. And he said no.
Okay.
Usually that's what happens. I get a no, and then we have to find a way to develop it internally or find someone that will develop it for us. But again, it's reinventing the wheel. There's no need for it. We can all work together as one, and our only mission is DFK itself.
Right.
The health of the overall community and letting it thrive.
Education and everything.
Yeah, letting the guilds thrive, all the things. That's my same vision for the channel. And so
that name, Unity, is right on, spot on.
We actually minted 1 million of our tokens that we've never done anything with, called Unit, and it's each unit builds an additional coin that creates bigger parts of the community starting from a unit. Because I'm also Air Force, so it kind of comes in from a flight. Starting at the smallest, then airmen, and just thinking about the structure of a token. How would the token grow? And we've never obviously done anything about it, but we wanted to grab the name before anybody else did. So Spiky went out on Argon and minted us a token. So
yeah, well, that I'm loving everything, guys. So let's wrap up. I know one last thing here. You're wanting to launch a giveaway.
Yeah, we're not going to do it in channel though. It's just I wanted to give the announcement.
Okay, let's go. Announce it.
Okay, so basically what we want to do is a competition between the OGs and the influencers and the watchers of the streamers. So we're going to call this program basically, it's a stream invite. So we're going to call it Market Stream. So I'm going to send out a tweet here in a little bit that's going to have a link to our Discord that's going to be called Market Stream, or not anybody's personal one. So every time that invite hits our Discord, it's going to be recorded. We have a bot that tracks the invites. Anybody that sends that Discord, anybody that joins and subs off of that streamer invite will be put into a raffle. If you are just doing invites, it doesn't work for you unless you are a streamer, unless you are an influencer, and you have your own personal invite codes. The people out there that have them know who they are. So basically what's going to happen is the streamers are going to try to promote and go hot this week, promote, because if they get more, they're going to be a leaderboard with the streamers and the influencers. And if they get more, the top dog gets an incentive. Not only do they get a raffle, but they also get a second payout if they beat the main streamers. So it's going to be fun. We're going to be doing a little, we're going to tie it in.
What's in the jackpot?
Well, I've been getting, that's why I was kind of freaking out with Coolio. I was like, help me get this wallet set up, help me get this, because people are starting to send stuff. Right now we have 2 legendary heroes. We've got 1 10-10 hero. We've got 5 greater stones.
Wait. Did you say 10-10 legendary?
Yeah, 10-10 legendary. I think, I'm not sure. Brovius in it. And then Baka sent 5 greater stones, 5 mic crystals. So,
wow.
So there's things coming in. And so basically we're not going to determine how many winners we're going to have until we have the week to gather up what all is coming in from everybody that's supporting it. And if you want to donate to the cause, I'm going to put it in the tweet where to send to. It's going to be basically a sideline to what Minnie's doing, keeping the celebration going, Christmas in July. And, everybody just having fun, competition between the streamers and the main streamers. I'm really excited to see who's going to win that. You guys basically should be eating FUD and throwing crow in these streams all week this week. So.
Okay. And so we need to pay attention to Twitter when you announce this.
Yeah, it will all be on Twitter because I do not have time to send personal discords. I'll post it in Unity. I'll post it in DFK Helper. I'll, post it, and I'll tag as many people as I know, but mostly it's going to be the streamers that I'm tagging. So it's kind of, they're going to get a little advantage.
Okay, let's go. All right.
I think Mythic Squad's going to win this one, huh?
Well, yeah, do they have their own or is it an individual one?
Probably Bees or Mosh or.
Yeah, well, I think Brown Jit has been trying to get information from me all day, and he's probably been streaming his commercial 24/7. So
competition.
Yeah, and then another thing that we're doing is we're doing a celebration to Zels and to him and the devs. We have reached out to Grady and to some of the OGs and some of the adopters. We're going to do like a video for you and talk about the 5 things that Helper is for us. Why we did it, why we stay, what it does for us, and what how it makes us feel. And so everybody's going to video this, and we're going to have them answering the same 5 questions. So if you want to join this video and you have a testimonial about it, please reach out to me. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to make this our main commercial for all the streamers for about a week after the fact, and then it'll go into the archives of Helper for Zels and for the team, just to show some celebration and some appreciation.
I love it. Okay, we got.
By the way, he didn't know I was doing that, so I'm sorry if I caught you off guard there. But.
Awesome.
Go right, and so we'll follow Twitter. I always have my notifications on with Helper, so anytime Helper tweets, I get the notification. Let's go. Okay, Coolio, you're a legend. Zellies, legend. I love the vision. Crypto Baby H, man, let's keep it going.
Always.
Love you, Grady.
Love you guys.
We gotta hang in there through the bear market. It's tough.
Almost over.
Ooh, it is.
Bullish.
So we had, I guess, the mind games shut down. The mind games game, like we got Krabata shut down. Now mind games.
Yeah, that was a
DFK
run.
is not going anywhere though, ever.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere.
That's right.
If we were the 1,100 of us that have stuck here since September last year before, and instead of going anywhere, have 5 times our input into the game.
Right. There's a resolve here that Zellies has, okay, that's different than what we've seen out there.
He's built different.
It's called stubborn. Hard-headed, yeah.
Face is set like a flint here, and you've proven it over time. Not too many people can do it. Can keep going. The way the climate.
I don't think it's so much about me, Grady. I think it's more about the community and you.
Sure.
I mean, I don't do it with other things, let's say, right? But now I've been in love for 2 years. Who can say that? Who can say they've been in love with something for 2 years? I've been in love with this thing for 2 years. It doesn't go away. If anything, it grows a little bit each day. And I don't know how to explain it. I'm in love with the game. I'm in love with the community, with the vision, with the whole thing. And I don't have a choice. It's not like I wake up in the morning and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do something else. No,
I love it when the new person comes in and says, oh my God, I just summoned. I'm addicted. I said, yeah, well, wait till you get your first Mythic. So that never gets old.
Oh, man. All right, bullish. Let's go, Beeve.
Oh, and Mythic Squad said they already got their videos and stuff done. They've already done their content, so I can't wait to see that. So.
Oh, man, and the Brown Jen has that awesome video.
Yeah,
he does every time.
Yeah, he sent the script.
And, wow. So, and you guys, did you guys say you just were on his stream? I've got to catch up.
We were on his stream on Friday.
You were? Okay, yeah. So we got to catch
Friday
up.
or Thursday.
Got to catch up with Brown Gent stream, baby.
I don't even remember what day it was. It's all rolling together.
Okay.
But yeah, Sergeant McNasty has asked us to come out, so we're going to be talking to him too.
Thursday.
On Thursday.
We'll see.
Okay. I love it. I love you guys. All right, guys. Crypto Grady, Zellies, Coolio, Crypto Baby H, and Kong just went to the store. Out. Love you guys. Hang in there.